Hi everybody, it is Program Ranger Shea coming to you from Camp Tom Wooten Capillary Council. Today we are going to read the story of Ferdinand, and after Ferdinand we are going to paint today using celery. So you'll need some paper, some possibly red and green paint if those are the colors you want to use, maybe a paintbrush, and an entire stalk of celery. Okay? So you'll find at the end how we're going to use our celery to make a painting. So today we are going on a trip to Spain, and we are going to learn about the bullfights in Madrid. Ferdinand, the story of Ferdinand, is one of Program Ranger Shea's very favorite stories. And here we go. So the story of Ferdinand. Once upon a time in Spain. There was a little bull, and his name was Ferdinand. All the other bulls he lived with would run and jump and butt their heads together. So here's Ferdinand and all the other little bulls running and jumping and butting their heads together. But not Ferdinand. He liked to just sit quietly and smell the flowers. He had a favorite spot out in the pasture under a cork tree. It was his favorite tree, and he would sit in its shade all day and smell the flowers. Sometimes his mother, who was a cow, would worry about him. She was afraid he would be lonesome all by himself. "Why don't you run and play with the other little bulls and skip and butt your head?" she would say. But Ferdinand would shake his head. "I like it better here, where I can just sit quietly and smell the flowers." His mother saw that he was not lonesome, and because she was an understanding mother, even though she was a cow, she just let him sit there and be happy. As the years went by, Ferdinand grew and grew until he was very big and strong. Now look how old he is on the tree. I wonder, does sometimes some parents will like make little markings of how their kids are growing. It looks like Ferdinand's mom marked, and here he's only 2 years old, and look how big and strong he is. All the other bulls who had grown up with him in the same pasture would fight each other all day. They would butt each other and stick each other with their horns. What they wanted most of all was to be picked to fight at the bullfights in Madrid. Ooh, look at them looking at the bullfight poster, longing to fight at the bullfights. But not Ferdinand. He still liked to sit just quietly under the cork tree and smell the flowers. One day, 5 men came in very funny hats to pick the biggest, fastest, roughest bull to fight in the bullfights in Madrid. Here's those men with the funny hats. All the other bulls ran around snorting and butting and leaping and jumping so that the men would think that they were very, very strong and fierce and pick them. Ferdinand knew that they wouldn't pick him, and he didn't care. So he went out to his favorite cork tree to sit down. He didn't look where he was sitting, and instead of sitting on a nice cool grass in the shade, he sat on a bumblebee. Well, if you were a bumblebee and a bull sat on you, what would you do? You would sting him. And that is just what this bee did to Ferdinand. Look at his eyes. Woo! Wow, did it hurt? Ferdinand jumped up with a snort. He ran around puffing and snorting and butting and pawing the ground as if he were crazy. That must have been some bee sting. The 5 men saw him and they all shouted with joy. There was the largest and fiercest bull of all, just the one for the bullfights in Madrid. Look at them, so happy. So they took him away for the bullfight day in a cart. Here he is in a cart, and they're taking him to the bullfight day. What a day it was! Flags were flying, bands were playing, and all the lovely ladies had flowers in their hair. Don't they look nice? They had a parade into the bull ring. First came the banderilleros with long, sharp pins with ribbons on them to stick in the bull and make him mad. Next came the picaderos, who rode shiny horses, and they had long spears to stick in the bull and make him madder. Then came the matador, the proudest of all. He thought he was very handsome and bowed to the ladies. He had a red cape and a sword and was supposed to stick the bull last of all. There's the matador. Then came the bull. And you know who that was, don't you? Ferdinand. They called him Ferdinand the Fierce. And all the banderos were scared of him, and the picadores were afraid of him, and the matador was scared stiff. Ferdinand ran to the middle of the ring, and everyone shouted and clapped because they thought there was going to be a fight. He was going to fight fiercely and butt and snort and stick his horns around. But not Ferdinand. When he got to the middle of the ring, he saw the flowers in all the lovely ladies' hair. And he just sat down quietly and smelled. I don't think that's what they were expecting. He wouldn't fight and be fierce no matter what they did. He just sat and smelled. And the banderos were mad, and the picaderos were madder, and the matador was so mad he cried that he couldn't show off his cape and sword. So they had to take Ferdinand home. And for all I know, he is sitting there still, under his favorite cork tree, smelling the flowers quietly. He is very happy. I hope you enjoyed that story about Spain and Ferdinand and the bullfights. Now we are going to make a picture, And I'm going to move my camera down so that you can see what I'm doing. And remember, I'm at camp, so some things are kind of in different places. All right. Here we go. You ready to make our beautiful picture? So here I go, moving my camera down to my table. Here's my cutting board and my celery. So you need the whole celery stalk, the whole bunch. Okay, so not individual little celeries. You're going to need it still together with the root. Okay, so you can buy it like this in the grocery store. I also have a knife. Now remember, a knife is a tool, not a toy. And so you'll need permission to use this or use it with your adult person. Okay? So we're going to take the knife and we're going to cut the celery in one spot all the way straight down, as straight as you can. So I'm going to hold the celery really good and hold it together, and then I'm going to cut down. There we go. Now, do you see? What does it kind of look like? It kind of looks like a flower. Remember in Ferdinand at the bullfights, the lovely ladies all had flowers in their hair. So that's what we're going to do, is we're going to make a lovely lady flower picture. So what I did is I took some red paint and I put it on a plate. And I'm going to stick this end of the celery that I just cut onto the plate and kind of like use it as a stamp. Oh, I need a little bit more. Hopefully it didn't dry out too much. All right, so now do you see the end of my celery? I am going to put it on my piece of paper here. Ready? And I'm just going straight down and then lifting back up. Now I'm going to do it again. I'm getting it all nice and red, painty. I'm using acrylic paint, like a washable acrylic paint. That's one of the better paints to use with this. A watercolor would not work, but an acrylic paint will work really well. So here I go, one more. I'm going to make another one here. And I'm stepping straight down. Let me try and show you. And then lifting up. Oh, there we go. So I've got my celery print, or kind of like stamper now. Now I'm going to set that aside, and I've got some green paint and a paint brush. And let me try and do this so you guys can see. I'm going to take a little bit of the green on my brush. And, oh, I got a little bit too much. I'm going to do some flower stems. So that's the long part of the flower that goes down. Might want a little bit more paint. There we go. Do you see? I'm going to do another one over here. There are my stems. Now I might make some leaves. So one way to make leaves is you kind of go in a circle and then swipe up, like a half circle. Another half circle on the other side and swipe up. And then I'm going to kind of finish it right there. Maybe make one over this side. So kind of in a circle and then swipe up. And then circle the other side, circle, swipe up. I'm going to fill it in. Maybe another leaf down here. Circle, swipe up. Circle, swipe up. And there we are. You have your picture. Let me bring up the camera. Your picture of, your flower picture of the lovely lady flowers that you made using celery, and our story from Spain, Ferdinand. I hope you guys enjoyed our story and craft time today, brought to you by Capitol Area Council of Boy Scouts of America, techlab.camp, as well as the International Scouting Committee, expanding our horizons and learning more about the world all around us. And today we flew on a plane to Spain and went to the bullfights and saw Ferdinand and all the lovely ladies with the flowers in their hair. I'd love for you to put your pictures when you are done doing pictures and put them in the comments section of this Facebook event. That would be awesome for us to see some of your pictures. I hope you guys are having a great summer and that you are staying safe. Be kind, everybody. Have a good day. Bye-bye.